So today we are reviewing one of the most anticipated animated films of the year, and it's got amazing reviews too. Look who it is. It's Dina Burgess. No, I'm pointing the wrong way. Gotta stop doing that. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Teddy's here as well. Is your cat still there? Oh, Teddy's gone. He's off.
Yeah, Dixie's up here and Alfie's beside me. Here's my big ginger. He's massive.
God, he is massive. How old is he now?
He's 8. Maine Coon Cross. They're the biggest British breeder cat. So, well, breeder cat in Britain.
He's a proper cuddle monster, isn't he?
Oh, he is. He's a little devil as well.
Yeah, like mine. So Wolfwalkers, tell us about this. It's an Irish animated film that's been getting rave reviews.
It's from the Cartoon Saloon. It's kind of a third one in an unofficial trilogy. It started back, I think, around 2006. They had The Secret of the Kells, which was, again, based on Irish mythology. And then they did The Song of the Sea, which was about Selkies. And being from Scotland, even though it says this is about Irish mythology, it's all tied in. We have the same legends and myths. So I absolutely was very excited to hear there was a film about the Wolfwalkers, because the Wolfwalkers are basically us Celts. We love stories about humans that turn into things and then go back into different things at different times of the day. Like your Selkies, when they come on land, they become human. In the sea, they're seals. The Kelpies are sea serpents in the sea or rivers. And when they come onto the land, they're horses. So the Wolfwalkers are basically humans who, when they sleep, their spirits become wolves. So this story is set in 1600s in Ireland, when the Lord Protector, aka Oliver Cromwell, was doing his dirty things across the whole of the UK and Ireland, or wasn't the UK then, but you know what I mean, the British Isles. And he's in Ireland, and of course he's wanting to use all the land to get everybody farming, to make money, as he did, exploiting all the, getting rid of the local traditions. So he's in this village or town, which I believe is meant to be Kilkenny, because that's where the Cartoon Saloon, who makes the film, is based. Again in the 1600s. There's a forest there on the edge of the town, which is stopping him from being able to farm as much as he'd like. So he wants to get rid of the forest, but the forest's protected by a very powerful wolf pack. And the wolf pack is rumoured to be protected by 2 Wolfwalkers, who everybody thinks are legends and are they real, is it a myth, all this kind of thing. So basically we've got the token Yorkshireman, played by Sean Bean, because he's always the best token Yorkshireman. So he voices the voice of Bill Goodfellow. And
he's got a great voice as well, hasn't he?
And it's perfect for this, perfect. And he's sent to be the chief wolf hunter along with his daughter Robin, whose mother died. Robin Goodfellow, see what they did there? Robin Hood, but Robin's a girl with a Y.
Very good.
They're sent there to basically get rid of the wolves so that Oliver Cromwell can cut the forest down and farm the lands and put the villagers to work. But Robin has dreams of being a hunter herself, and she sneaks out one day with her father and gets herself in a bit of bother in the forest and meets Meave and her mum, who happen to be Wolfwalkers. And that's all I'm saying, because that's the premise of the story. Now, when I started watching the film, in this day and age of computer graphics, CGI, computer games, all this, we're so used to animation that almost looks real now.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of all animation, whether it's stop motion, whether it's CGI, whether it's hand-drawn, love it all. I love the Disney princesses, I love Toy Story, I love the whole shebang. But there's something I think so pure and magical about watching a really well done hand-drawn animation. Maybe it's my age, because that's what I grew up with. But this kind of pares everything back. It takes everything back to basics. But it's not basic. I would call it simple, but not basic, if that makes sense. So it uses a lot of different techniques. The way it uses colour and different drawing styles to convey the different atmospheres of the scenes. When you're in Oliver Cromwell's castle, it's very stark, it's all greys, it's all blacks, it's almost unfinished. When you're following the wolves through the woods through the eyes of the Wolfwalker, it's unfinished drawings, it's 2-3 colors. They use all the different hand-drawn techniques so effectively, even though we're so used to everything being so sophisticated. the way that they use the different simple techniques is almost more impressive, I guess. There's something very, very enthralling about it. It hooks you in from the beginning. It throws everything at you. It's got the story. It's got the cute wolf characters. It's got the magic. But at the same time, you never feel completely safe at the beginning because there's this darkness to it. And I don't mean it's dark as in it would scare little children. I'd say any child from 6+ will probably adore this because it's not as scary as half the stuff we see in computer games or on the telly. But there's just something about it where you're not quite sure you feel safe, to the extent that I had to actually pause the film and go and look to see online if the previous films had a happy ending. Because I thought, I'm loving this film so much that if I watch it and it doesn't have a happy ending, and if I had any children watching it, I would be so gutted. So I'm not going to make any apologies for saying this does have a happy ending. It's all okay. It's all okay. Because I'm sure there'll be some parents watching this with their kids that will suddenly think, oh gosh, is this going to actually be okay? Because there's real on the edge of your seats moments emotionally, not just from a not from a visual point of view, but from an emotional point of view, where you're thinking, is this actually going to go this way?
Don't you think that's a real skill, though, from the producers of the film to actually make an animated film that children and adults would both like? Because I think Pixar, like you mentioned, the Disney and the Pixar films, and I think they've got it down brilliantly as well. Because I think there are elements of those animated films that will resonate with adults, and it sounds like this is the sort of film that's the same.
I think the beauty of this film is, even though it's set in history, it really does that thing of showing you how much have we moved forward in the last 400 years, because it's all about exploiting nature, what happens when we start interfering with the natural balance of things, losing our legends, losing our myths. So there's history in there, there's magic in there. The dialogue is very modern, and we've got Maeve, who's got the really strong Irish accent, going, "Come here to me now," and all this. And I lived in Ireland for a while, so I absolutely love that. And I love that actually, because she's the kind of mythological character that's been living in the forest, and yet she's got quite, she's got sassy modern day dialogue, which is great. Because to be honest, both Maeve and Robin, as the two main protagonists in the film, could both be, I hate to insult them by saying they could be Disney princesses, but they're really good icons for little girls to look up to, both of them in their own way. They're both tough and sassy, and they form a beautiful friendship. And it's really nice that it's about two young girls having a really close friendship and working together, and modern versus the traditional. And there's so many elements in there, but the main thing is it's got a really good story. The animation is fantastic. I don't mean fantastic as in so technical or it'll blow your mind, but fantastic is in so clever, the way they use the different techniques. It's beautifully drawn, the story's beautifully written, and I can't find anything I don't like about this film.
Wow. Well, I was going to ask you about, because not everybody likes animated films, which I think is a real shame, because there's so much beauty in there, or can be.
And even if you don't like animated films, I think you'd like this.
Well, that was going to be my question to you, because my partner doesn't, and I think it's a shame, because I think there are so many great animated movies that I think he would like. Because
the animation is lovely, but in a way the story is so good and so simple, and it really makes you think. It's really thought-provoking, and it really brings a wee bit of magic back, but not in a very glitzy, glittery, glossy, pink, shimmery animation way. It's in a slightly grittier, earthy. But at the same time, to me, this film is what childhood should be about. It's just a magical film, and it's not got the bells and whistles and the singing and dancing of the Disney Pixar, but it doesn't need that. If you did that to this film, you'd ruin it. The simplicity of it is what makes it so perfect. I think the message in there is so simple. The animation is so pure. The story is so lovely that Did you get the idea that I liked it?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to ask you if this could perhaps be your favourite film of the LFF this year. Yeah.
It is, definitely. It is. And I'm kind of, I wouldn't say, I do love an animated film. But to me, I don't love a film because it's animated. But often animated films, like you say, kind of go unnoticed, but the content of the film is as relevant as any other type of movie. And I think this is definitely the case here, that the message is really relevant. And I think this is one that you can take your granny to, you can take your 6-year-old to. I probably wouldn't take under 6, not because there's anything scary on screen, but just because there's that element of uncertainty. And there are some dark moments in it, but not so dark that it's not suitable for children, if that makes sense.
It does. So are we going for a
10?
It's the first one.
10. It's my favourite film of the year. It's a shame it's only being released to Apple TV initially. So I don't know when it's going to go on a wider release. But if you have Apple TV, I definitely... And even if you don't, I would look out The Song of the Sea or The Secret of the Kells.
I so need to see that. I haven't seen that yet.
It's by the Cartoon Saloon, for an Irish animation studio. And I hadn't heard of them until I watched this film. I had to go and find them. They were quite difficult to find, but I think there's a couple of channels that do them. I can't remember now, but anyway, if you search them, it's The Secret of the Kells was the first one, I believe, and The Song of the Sea. And they are stunning films too. I would say this one's the best out of the 3. So I kind of wish I'd watched the other 2 first, but they're equally charming. The charming, magical and enthralling.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dina. We are continuing our LFF Film Festival coverage. It's just ongoing, isn't it? I've seen probably more films than ever at any festival, I think, this year.
I think because when you're at a real life festival, you kind of got breaks for drinks and food and whatever. And I think when you're forced to watching them online, we're all locked down. It's like I just binge watched everything that was there, even ones that I might not have, which is good. It pushed me to watch things I might not have watched otherwise. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I've seen things that I wouldn't normally see. Thank you so much, Dina. And thank you for everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this, and we'll have more for you soon. Back soon. Bye.